What's up, guys? Brew Crew in the house. We got Mr. Baron here, guys. We're going to have so much great content for you coming today and in this first ever Brew Crew interview. But before we get started, guys, smash that like button. Smash it. Not down, but up. That's what we want to see. And secondly, we have this very nice, elegant bell from like Beauty and the Beast. We hit it because it reminds everybody to hit the like and the subscribe button in the corners. That's right, because YouTube has this wonderful algorithm for you guys to excel at anything you want to do on YouTube. They literally make you have to ask before continuing. And it's the greatest system ever. I recommend it for everybody. Anyways, I'm going to lead over to Trent.
So welcome to the Brew Crew, the most hydrated community on YouTube. And today we have Mr. CoinBaron with us. That's my dog. I'm sorry.
Mr. CoinBaron with us, and we're going to run several questions to him, and he's going to talk to us a lot about CRO and why you should get into CRO and what they're doing to develop their future.
And first, we're just going to ask him to introduce himself to the Brew Crew and tell us a little bit about his background in crypto and why and how he got into CRO. How he got into a particular focus on CRO. So take it away.
Well, thanks for having me. I saw a video of yours with somebody wearing this, I think this Halo helmet. I was like, I need to be on this channel here. So I think it was Mr. T. But I'm actually Mr. CoinBaron, of course. I have been into crypto since 2017. And I went into crypto.com as a company for my personal needs back in 2019. And I don't know if you guys know them, but they have a range of different credit cards and debit cards. And that's, I think, their niche, really. And I love it. In Europe, it is not really normal that you pay and get like crypto rewards or any rewards at all if you go to the gas station or if you pay for groceries. So the idea of paying and getting crypto rewards, super great. So that's when I got into crypto.com. And also they have their own token and have an amazing community as well. So that's why I, in 2021, also decided to make some more video content about them as well. And since that day, I've been really going into that community, that token, but also in general, what's going on with crypto, what's going on with Bitcoin, Ethereum. And yeah, that's what I'm doing these last few days and the last few weeks. I've been actually full-time. So if you want to enjoy some CRO and crypto content, you can check the channel. Again, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming, man. All right, well, let's get started on the first question then. So, question number 1, staking rewards management. Are staking rewards automatically reinvested in the staking pool? Can they be sold immediately while preserving the existing staking position?
Good question. For anyone wondering, I'm not an official ambassador or employee. I do know a few things about the platform, though. So what you can do on the platform, there are options for compound staking. So that's an 8-world wonder, of course, if you take a look at Mr. Warren Buffett. But if you take, for example, a look at the staking for the credit cards, then they are compounding automatically. But if you are looking at different earn options, because there are the supercharge, there is the airdrop arena, there are multiple ways to stake there. For the majority of them, you need to compound yourself. So you can actually get a reward. It goes into your crypto wallet, and you need to put them in back as well in the earn section. So if you want to do the compounding, you do need to do some work. But for the Visa cards, it's all automatic.
And you're talking about the debit card, credit.
Yeah, it's officially now it's debit card. But actually, the cool thing is in the US, they're launching the credit cards in about 2 months ish.
Yeah.
So exciting times out there. I personally don't use credit cards myself, but do you guys use credit cards?
It's the last thing most of us need.
Yes, I do use credit cards. They're a gift and a curse all at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. The next question.
Americans with the credit cards, I see what they're doing.
Yeah, right. Oh, we get rewards for credit cards.
Yeah.
America. Rewards. Yeah. Kronos competitive edge. What strategies or features is Kronos implementing effectively to differentiate itself from other blockchain projects? So, sorry, I had to reread that word a couple times.
Okay, so what's making them really competitive? That's a good question. So what CRO is, why CRO is special in my opinion, and why I think from a fundamental point of view, it is my number one token currently. It is because the relationship with Crypto.com. Crypto.com is one of the fastest growing crypto exchanges. If you take a look, last week we had the F1 Miami Championship, so for Formula One, and it was hosted by Crypto.com. And we also got the Crypto.com Arena, and they are absolutely killing it with marketing. And if I know one thing, it's okay to have a good token, like from a technical point of view. But if you also want to grow, you do need marketing. And especially in this digital age, I think having such a big partner with your token is absolutely huge. So my thesis here is that whenever Crypto.com grows with their customer base, and I think they will grow due to their fabulous marketing, also the amount of CRO holders will grow, and therefore demands will grow. So that's kind of, I think, the most interesting part. And they're also, from a blockchain point of view, they are also working on more interconnectability. So they have ETH on Kronos, ETH on Cosmos, ETH on ZK, so all kind of different layers. And I think, I don't know if you guys work with many different chains, but my personal biggest hindrance with using multiple chains is that you have like funds on one chain, and then if I want to go to Solana, I need to go through a bridge, or I need to go through a different exchange, and then only then I really have the funds on that specific chain to do that specific app or game or token. Do you guys have like a favorite chain, or?
Cardano.
There we have it.
He's a Cardano guy, man.
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite chain, to be honest with you. I think I interact a lot with Solana, probably more than anything else, because the fees are cheaper. But man, you gotta be real careful with Solana, because there's like 99% more scams on Solana. Then they love them scammers, man, and that's why they have so many transactions and volume. I think they could put out, because people can generate meme coins like crazy, just like the last bull market in 2021. I felt like, one, Solana was so new, but Ethereum never had a whole lot of rugs on it because it cost too much to generate on-chain transactions, and how much it cost to build on it. So ETH is it's good. It needs to work on scalability, I think, for sure.
Yeah, ETH just actually launched a new upgrade, the Pectra upgrade, and that will actually help with that. But right now, in Ethereum transaction is quite cheap, but we've seen the first growth spurs of Ethereum already, and it's the more the price is going up of Ethereum, the more the gas fees also will be. So soon it will be as expensive as it was back in the previous bull market. So exciting times there.
At least it's deflationary now, because before they did the EI 5159, and because no one was using ETH, it was still creating more volume. Something about ETH, it doesn't have a cap. What was your highest fee that you paid on Ethereum?
Highest fee? Oh, I've made some big mistakes in the beginning. I wanted to raise the chain, so the more you raise the gas fees, the quicker you are. And I think during like NFT mint, I think I spent $1,000 worth of ETH. Back then it was 0.3 or 0.2. Not that bad. I've heard even worse stories, but for me that was back then a big amount of money.
Yeah.
It's
still a big amount of money for me.
Certainly.
I think I paid $300 to sell $600 worth of a meme token. I was like, that's half the supply. Like, I did all the work, and then the gas fees ate it all up.
Dang.
All right, question number 3. So we go into Crypto.com card rewards optimization. Is it possible to hold both Crypto.com credit card and the debit card to stack rewards, or is it more advantageous to hold one over the other?
Unfortunately, the credit cards are not yet live on Crypto.com, so I can't really say if you can have both. I think it would make sense if you have both, but I don't know. So you do need to have like a card stake on the platform. You need to hold CRO on Crypto.com to get a card. I don't know if you can get both with the same stake. We have to see. Good question, though.
This is a good question. Do all the credit cards have different colors than the debit cards?
Yeah, I think the new credit cards have like a pastel color, so you can actually see the difference, but they will still have like the same theme. So blue is blue, and I don't know. I got a few cards to the back. You don't know if you can see them, but There's green, there's blue, there's gray or goldish. So yeah,
I
pretty
didn't know you
cool.
could get multiple cards. I went straight to the Jade when I first got it back in 2021. I think it's interesting. A lot of people tell me, they're like, you can't spend your crypto. I'm like, oh yes, you can. Let me show you. And I pull out my Kronos. I'm like, it's right here. And it works great. That chip on that thing is a beast. How do you view Kronos more centralized structure compared to decentralized finance protocols, and what is your perspective on its proof of authority node consensus mechanism? Because how the nodes, how they hold a large sum of the nodes.
Yeah,
I think you know where this is leading to.
I know what is leading, unfortunately. Yeah, this is when I started, with getting into crypto, I was all about, oh, this is decentralized and we're going to get rid of banks. And yeah, there I am. I'm holding a token, which is, I think, 90% centralized. But to be honest, if you take a look at the current landscape of all cryptocurrencies, I would say Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most decentralized token. Then we've got Ethereum, which is also somewhat decentralized. But even there are people saying, well, if you actually take a look at the Bitcoin mining, for example, there's only a few big companies that really do the mining. And the bigger these companies get, the more centralized also Bitcoin is getting, even though currently it's still very, very secure. So Bitcoin is decentralized. But for example, even Solana isn't at all, I would say, very decentralized. Cardano, I don't dare to say anything about Cardano now. But yeah, I would say Crypto.com, or the Kronos chain, is one of the most centralized chains I do know right now. And recently, I don't know if you want to go there, but yeah, we had a vote. So you have those protocol votes for certain upgrades or certain IDs with the project. And the community was clearly against it. But due to all the voting power, because the more you stake on a certain node, the more voting power you have. Well, Crypto.com is just the biggest voting power group here. So if they want anything, they can vote for it. They will make sure. And we, as a normal community, we don't really have a say in this.
Well, is that possible, Baron? That if people, because they stake to get that node that big, people stake on the platform, right? Is it possible to stake if there was a big enough uproar? Could we have all pulled our tokens off that node and put it onto another node?
Yeah, certainly. But the thing is, if you want to go get these cards, if you want to do anything on the simple app, because the majority of people want to use a simple app, you can only use the Crypto.com nodes. But if you are a bit more active in the DeFi space, you can actually go to their wallet or any wallet and use the manual staking option, and you can stake with a community node or with this community node and this community node. It's actually quite funny. During the voting period, you saw a lot more people actually saying, hey, wait a minute. If we use the centralized node on the platform, I don't really have a say in this anymore. So many more people actually went to a community node. And I think that is where we need to go in the end. But I do have to say that currently the chain is still in its infancy. So I get it that we still need a bit of centralized direction, really. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting too about that. You mentioned Ethereum and the picture upgrade. Well, the nodes went from 32 to 2048 ETH, which made it extraordinarily more centralized, I feel like, because I don't know about you, I'm not exactly carrying 2,000 ETH in my back pocket just to run a node, as a consensus. So the people that are running these nodes now are bigger money, more whales, and they're more the ability for a backdoor deal to happen with one person versus over 2,000 is a lot more higher, I would say. And also too, with a little bit of a background, I ran a couple different channels and discords and stuff and had to interact with a lot more wallets. And so I do have a little bit of experience in this. And a lot of times I don't believe in DAOs. I don't think DAOs work. Most, like 99% of the time, I think DAOs usually will end up failing because they don't have a head to choose a direction. And so a lot of times the community end up fighting each other and they just want to split off anyways. So I do believe that in my own personal experience that most of the time a centralized exchange is actually okay. And I think it really depends on the leader of it. Nothing, I also have to believe that nothing will last forever. So don't just be like, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket and just run with it. Like, start thinking ahead, start getting your backup plans, and start building out a little bit so you're not fully exposed in one community. But to me, when I first saw that, I was a little upset because I felt like it wasn't a good thing to remint 70 billion tokens. But then I thought about it from my perspective, and there are some things that I don't want to talk about publicly that are beneficial for the community on the back end of it. And a lot of the communities, they don't see it that way. When you first represent the idea to them, they just want to, they know it all. They know what's best. They know all the deals you get. And you know where I'm going with this. They think they know it, everything. And so a lot of experience with me having this is I was like, dude, I'm listening to Chris Marszalek, right? That's his name, right? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
He went to this dinner with Trump. Obviously, he had such a strong connection with this guy that he was like, dude, the golden age for Crow is coming. It is right around the corner. You guys just pretty much have to trust me on this. And I do believe, the fact that I actually learned from you, Mr. Barron, that great content, by the way, my friend. He told us about the new building being built in DC with Crow. And there's obviously, there had been such a strong connection with him and Trump. They must have just hit it off, And I think a lot of it is the advertising that they have done. And the fact, I think crypto.com is the name. You got it in the name. It's going to bring on all the millennials and Gen Zers. Maybe not the future generation, but you don't think he's thinking about that right now? Chris is thinking about how to bring on the younger generation that's coming. And he's planning for that. And that's why he's making these deals now. And a lot of people don't have that foresight to see the future. Most people in the community are like, now, what's best for me. And so I'm going to take this leap. And I think Chris is actually a really good guy, and he wants what's best for the community and what's best for the company. And he was like, I think it was nice of him just to put it up to a note, because he could just like, now we're doing this. Yeah. And he still kind of did that, but he's saying like there's doors and avenues to be open for the community to be able to pull all the funds off if they really didn't. There was such a backlash. And I think that was a kind of a cool thing to do, because if he just yanked that opportunity away from the community, and he didn't have to do a vote, he didn't have to give it time. And then the fact he did an AMA on it and just to talk about it, it's like, hey guys, calm down. I got your backs. I know what you guys want. We all want the number to go up, and it's not as simple as make the number go up and then it's going to die in the bear market. We want to build the infrastructure. We want to build the towers. We're going to get the setup. We want to get community ready. We want you guys to be successful. And a lot of times, just like kids, I don't know if you have any kids, but they want everything right here, right now. But if you take that time, you train them, you grow them. Yeah, it takes 18 years to get them out of the freaking house. But if you do it right, their success and the tools that you taught them, they can go become a doctor. They can become an entrepreneur. There's those tools, or you can become a garbage guy like me. So it's okay, man. Garbage men are great. It's perfect job security.
The thing is, it's a big trust me bro move, and because there's little transparency, that's fine, because this is a big company and a lot of backdoor things, and especially with Trump, whatever they are doing, I think it's also good. That's also why I remain very calm about it. But I get it. I mean, it's not really, if you came to crypto for the transparency, and because everything on the chain is transparent, or somewhat transparent, at least, I get it. It's not maybe your cup of tea, and that's fine. You just leave, just sell, and go to the next project, because that's a good thing. There are so many good projects out there that if you want to go somewhere else, you can easily go somewhere else.
Yeah, go to BNB. BNB is pretty centralized too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I want to ask.
And he went to jail, by the way. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I want to ask a bit of an off-scripted question, and I'll preface it just for a second by saying I just got a plug. Cardano actually has a higher Nakamoto coefficient than Bitcoin, in the sense, more tokens are held by the community. Up to 90% of the token supply is held by the community itself, by smaller wallet, and there's less whale supply, eating up the less whale wallets eating up the token supply. And Cardano is truly decentralized governance, after the Voltaire era. Anyways, the decentralization discussion, when it relates to CRO, in my opinion, if you're in it for a profit potential, and a profit potential with longevity, I'm not sure that it matters all that much. right? Like if you're in it for the ethos, sure. I hold Cardano because I'm in it for the ethos. That doesn't mean that I don't long other tokens. You know what I mean? So if you're in it for the profit potential and the longevity, this is a big deal company. I mean, the Staples Center, for God's sakes, like they want the longevity of the project more than you do, and like they're going to see that through. And I'm not saying it's too big to fail, but you have a solid backing there. I think if you're in it for the profitability and the longevity, I think it's a good play. That being said, my question in the last election, it was polled that 50% of voters in the last US election held some crypto. Now, does some crypto mean like $100 on Coinbase or whatever? Like, not sure. But we're still early in the S curve of adoption, in the sense that the biggest community to onboard and the biggest marketing potential is always newcomers, right? Until you've finished that S curve of adoption, until you've gotten over the hill, the biggest marketing audience is always newcomers to the space. And so what I want to know is kind of, how is crypto.com positioning itself to onboard more newcomers than other exchanges?
Yeah, I think it's the marketing there again. I think what you mentioned, how do you get newcomers? The new generation is on TikTok, the new generation is Instagram. I hate those platforms. I hate shorts, but it's where people are, and they are there as well. They are also doing, I think, the more old school marketing with, for example, Formula One and with Champions League. But that's, I think, how they try to get both the new generation, but also the old generation, because I think the majority of crypto holders are between currently, I would say, 20 and 45 years old. But also, I think the big money, like the baby boomers, really, those are the generation that are holding, I think, 70% of the total wealth currently. So if you actually can get a bit more entrance into that audience, I think there's a potential for so much more money to unlock. And I think if you take a look at BlackRock, this is, I think, the first year or the second year now that they have been active into crypto with, for example, a Bitcoin ETF. That is such a big move, but it's only the beginning so far.
I think too, with the crypto.com, I've always told people before this year, 2024, go to Coinbase, sign up. That's super simple. I always considered that like a crypto exchange #1. And then once you figure that out, you go to crypto.com. It's a better exchange. You get more benefits, and then you can kind of go into that. But now that crypto.com came out with their baskets, dude, I thought that was a game-changing thing. That was huge. I was like, I'm going to take advantage of these. I'm like, dude, RWA, I don't, you know what they say is pick like 5 or 6 coins and focus on those coins and learn about them, because you can't keep up with everything. Dude, if crypto.com is going to do that for me, I'll just trust them to buy a RWA basket, a real world asset, and let them buy it. Oh, then you got the big three, the American. Oh, you hear, American cryptos aren't going to be taxed. Go buy that basket. You set yourself up, because they're trying to grow their best interest by onboarding new people, and so they're doing the research to make it easier for you to get that exposure into different coins. And once you get in there, you start paying attention to your basket. Oh, look at this basket's doing really good. Oh, my AI basket's doing really good. And you start understanding a little bit more. And I think a lot of different people or companies or exchanges don't offer baskets yet. I think CRO was the first to really jump on board with that. I think Coinbase has like a top 50, but honestly, dude, a top 50 projects, 20 of them are meme coins. You just don't want to buy 20 meme coins. You know what I mean? So I think the fact that CRO has separated it and made it easily digested for the boomers. And you're right, they do have the golden egg. And I think that's where a lot of the money is. And I think that is a great opportunity that crypto.com took, because now I'm telling people, don't go to Coinbase. Go check out crypto.com, because Coinbase did the free money or whatever. Go learn about this coin, blah, blah, blah. And so you could get an opportunity to get free money. But I think the baskets are huge for crypto.com.
Yeah.
I haven't used them myself, but if you say they're great, I think they're great as well.
Well, it's pretty cool.
I'm a simple man. I buy a few tokens. I hold them myself, and I manage them myself as well. But I get it. It's the easy way, because they balance themselves. So let's say Bitcoin goes up super like by a lot, then also it eventually sell a bit of Bitcoin to buy into the other tokens, and that's super clever because that's how you actually grow faster as well.
Well, let's move on to the next question then. So we got the growth outlook for the bull market. Give Kronos current plans and roadmap. What is the projection, or what is your projection for its growth potential during the ongoing bull market? So we're like, what, maybe last 6 months of it, or maybe longer? Like, what do you think? What's the outlook for Kronos and the roadmap?
Yeah, that's I think the $1 million question. I always have my handy dandy A-ball here to see.
There it is.
Are we going to hit $10? No. 5? No. But I'm still somewhat of a proponent of the 4-year cycle theory. I see if you go on X that like the 4-year cycle's dead. I don't know. I can make that call. I think after December or after January, along those ranges. If then it's different, okay, maybe it's broken. So far, I've seen the halvings, I've seen them work. So why assume anything otherwise? But for growth specifically for the token, they have burns planned in Q4. And I think burning is still one of the better ways to help the tokenomics, at least in the short term. So Q4, I think there is an amazing opportunity for growth. I've always said $1 for Crow is almost guaranteed. So that's my plan currently. It's almost a 10x, and I expect about December and maybe November. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, it is really hard to project. I always tell people like the data is live, and I can tell you the plan today, and then if we have a really great news or really bad news, that plan goes out the window because now the chart just told it the story just changed a little bit, so it's like it's living. And another thing too is like Crow. I always found it kind of, I don't know, ironic maybe. There's some irony in the fact that they're minting tokens at the same time burning tokens. It's like it just kind of sounds a little odd to me. But I think too with the burn mechanic, that's based on like the volume they transact, right? Like it's not like 50 million every month. Like it could be 50 million and 30 million and 70 million. I'm just making up numbers right now. Is that, if that to be true?
Yeah, the official story is that's going to be based on block size, and the more transactions you have on chain, the higher the block size will be, and also price. So I think the more transactions, the more burn, like you did mention. So yeah, when we have the bull market, typically we do see more transactions, so we'll see the biggest burns as well.
And with the new mint coming, you know more about this than me because I get a lot of my information from you. So maybe you could shed some light on it for us while we're here, where we have you on. That do you know how often they are reminting? And I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they haven't used those funds yet, and they haven't said what they're going to use them for, like since they didn't sell it yet.
Yeah, so the initial mint has been done already. So currently there is 97 billion CRO in existence. However, currently 16.8 is actually 16. I'm bad with numbers now. I think about 27 billion is really in circulation, and every month there will be a 1.16 billion unlock. But that unlock is going into the Kronos strategic reserve. So when Trump come up with his own Bitcoin strategic reserve, Kronos we need that as well. The whole question is, and that's what we don't know, is whatever the team is going to do with that amount of Crow. Because currently, if you take a look, it's all on-chain. That's the good thing about on-chain. It's all visible. It's still sitting in that wallet and nothing is happening. So I'm watching this account as a hawk or an eagle. I don't know the proverb here, but this amount is not moving. As soon as it starts moving, there might be some sell pressure for CRO. But for now, it seems we're just holding. And as long as it's just sitting there, it's almost like a dead wallet. But so far, it's minting, it's holding, and they might use it.
Do you think they will use it, or do you think they'll donate it to the strategic reserve? Because once the strategic reserve is known, they can send funds in there. Anybody can send funds into a wallet theoretically. So why can't they be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna be part of it too, whether you like it or not. Boom, there's all that Crow in there.
I think that's actually one of the plans. So Chris Marszalek, the CEO, did an AMA, and one of the goals of this mint is to enable nation states, sovereign states, to actually adopt Crow, to also have it in their own reserves. I think they would like the US to have it. I think they would be very bullish. So they might donate because they have full control of all those tokens. And in my personal opinion, if they would actually donate it to the US, I do know they have like a policy to hold Bitcoin for the next 10 years. If they would donate CRO, I think it will also be locked for like 10 years. So that wouldn't even be that bad for the CRO token, at least in the short term. Whatever the US is going to do with those tokens afterwards, I don't know. But if you take a look at the gold reserve, the US is good at stacking and just holding. So I don't live there, but I like the policy how to just keep holding on to that gold in their Fort Knox, I think it's called.
Yeah, well, we don't know if the gold's there or not there currently.
We don't know. Okay.
We don't know. They want to go in there and audit it. The last audit was done 50 years ago.
Okay.
And not just that, but that audit wasn't like testing involved in it either. So there was some skeptics, conspiracy theorists like myself could say, well, who's to say somebody didn't go in there with a razor blade and one block, who would notice a gram missing off each block? But if you do that once a week for 50 years, that's a lot of gold that could be missing. Or there are other theories about it, backdoor, shady robbery theories where who's to say you can't paint a block of lead and strap a band on and put it back on the shelf. It just hasn't been audited. I mean, it's probably there, right? It's probably there. I mean, last person who looked at it was like, and it was older than my dad practically, so it hasn't been a good audit done in a really long time. But yeah, theoretically, we have the gold. Who owns the gold controls the rules. I think Trump said something like along those lines. Totally got off track. So next question is bear market resilience. During the previous bear market, did you have concerns about Kronos stability and stability amid the broader cryptocurrency market downturn?
Oh yeah.
I know for myself, I was freaked out a little bit when everything was crashing. So I didn't interrupt you, but when like FTX crashed and everybody was like, "Does Kronos have the backing?"
I never was really concerned because quite quickly after the FTX collapse, there were those Merkle trees, so they could actually prove that they had the funds one-to-one back. They even have a lot more in reserve. So I wasn't really afraid because they were always about security and always about this that they at least have what they say they have from the customers. My biggest concern was really when Circle went down. Not Circle went down. There was a short while USDC was depegged from the dollar, and that was a moment I was like, oh fudge, I lost all my money there because that would have been catastrophic, I think, for the whole crypto market. Luckily, that also went fine. I was still afraid, though, people don't like to hear the bearish take, but I was prepared for CRO to go down to 1 cent because we do know from altcoins there's a chance they go down 99%, and there's also a chance they won't come back. But what I also learned along the lines, along the years, is that if there's the thing for CRO specifically is that there will always be demand for CRO because of Crypto.com. It's unlike other tokens. For example, I don't know, any token really from 2017. In 2013, I learned that we had the barbecue token. I love barbecue, but I don't see the barbecue token anymore. So yeah, if the token like CRO is backed by an actual company, there will always be demand. So I think for me, that has always been fine. It's always about having patience more than anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think CRO is going to stick it out and it's going to be good. So you think though that this next bear market, what do you think we'll see CRO get to?
I have a few tools I use. One of my favorite is the rainbow chart, and it was made before the 70 billion mint. So I think that's the big question mark still. But the rainbow chart actually shows you the lows as well. And the low it is showing for me is at about 20 cents in 2027-ish. So if we get there, the real bear market, maybe a bit early in 2026, I think about maybe 16 to 20 cents, that could be a nice new low.
Oh, well, there you go, guys. Now you know where Crow's going to be to in the next bear market, and that's at least double your money right now. But no, that's still pretty good.
Hey,
you think about
promised you what the price is. No, I'm kidding.
You said that Ada's
sell your house, guys. Get in now.
Sell your 8 and buy Crow. At least you'll double your price. Hold on to Crow as a real utility compared to 8 as a meme. I'm just kidding, Trent. You know I was giving you crap. So dollar cost averaging exit strategy. What exit strategy would you recommend for investors using dollar cost average DCA approach with Crow?
I always say have a plan at least, and it doesn't need to be a DCA or DCA in or out. It's a possibility. I think though, specifically in the crypto market, crypto moves so quick. The actual bull peak lasts hours, maybe even minutes. So my personal take. Sorry,
you said CRO only lasts minutes.
The bull peak.
Really?
So CRO went to $1 last cycle. It was there for I think seconds, only seconds. So you are still able to sell off, I think, for hours into like the 90-cent range or the 80-cent range. So if you like to, you could have sold at a very high level, but like the time between 70 cents to $1 and back to 70 cents, that was all done within 1 week. So it is very, very time sensitive. So I recommend to set levels, and you go to an exchange and you can set like limit orders and determine beforehand when you're happy, because I think whenever you're happy, you can also determine that based on different tools. But yeah, whenever you're happy, maybe like a 10x or 5x, whatever floats your boat. Set those levels, but also make sure you set a few levels, because you will never always hit the highest target. So let's say you set a high sell at about $3 for Crow. You might also want to set one at $2.50 and one at $2 and one at and you go. You have a bit less or a bit more depending on your risk. How much risk you want to take.
Yeah. Final question. Trading. Actually, final question with one possibly bonus question. Trading experience on Crypto.com. Have you utilized the trading features on Crypto.com platform? And if so, what aspects of trading experience do you stand?
I've used Kraken, I use Binance, I use all the big platforms you got now. Binance, by the way, is banned here, so I can't use Binance anymore, unfortunately. Well, let's start with a bit of a negative, because I think there are some downsides to Crypto.com as well. The simplicity of the Crypto.com app comes with, I think, a bit of a hidden cost. So if you make a transaction on the app, you pay quite a hefty spread fee. You don't see it on the app, but you pay it anyways.
Yeah.
However, if you try to do it like the big boys do, and you go to the actual exchange platform, it's actually really good. You got the charts, you got the buy orders, you got the limit orders, you got a robot, you got grid action, you got everything that you as an advanced trader want, for sometimes even fees lower than 0%. So I actually currently get paid for making a trade, which is absolutely great if you are looking for multiple trades, because it's making you money by simply trading, even though trading can definitely also make you losses, unfortunately. So be careful there.
You have to do trading to tier up, right?
No, you can. So there are multiple options as well. So you can do trading to get lower fees, but you can also stake. Like you can stake CRO tokens to get like the rebate or discount on your transaction fees.
I thought at some sort of point, because I'm like, I think a 9 or a 10, tier 10, tier 9, tier 10, or some place around there, and I have 10 grand on there of Crow, I'll just say it. And so I thought at some point I was like trying to read like referral, like you're supposed to get an X amount of dollars for like referral fees. I'm like, oh, that's really great. And then I went to go look, and it's like, you have a 3 checklists you got to do. Is like, one of them, you got to have X amount of dollars staked. And then you also have to have this amount of volume trading, and you got to do, I don't remember, something else. And I was like, oh, so at some sort of point, you can only stake to get this fee this low. And then after that, you have to get that trading volume with the staking to get to the next level. Is that true, or am I not?
Yeah, that's actually in the app, and there are the missions or the reward levels, like you mentioned. Yeah, and the higher you go, also the more discount you get. So, but the thing is, you do need to hold a certain amount of Crow. You need to hold a certain amount of trading volume every month. So if you don't spend for a month or don't trade for a month, you will drop to a lower level, and there's something more like you mentioned. So it keeps you active as a trader.
Yeah, it keeps you involved and keeps that use case coming with the CRO token, because you want to stake it, you want to trade it, and then you take your rewards and you put it back in as trading, which is CRO token. So they try to find a lot of use cases for the token itself.
Absolutely.
That's what I really like about them too. I think another thing that drew me to crypto.com is something that you first said that drew you to it, as I think they did a fantastic job with their debit card. And I was like, dude, the rewards were insane to stake, and you could actually spend your crypto. I had somebody tell me that doing taxes and using the debit card make it slightly difficult to rabbit trail all the way down, because like, well, then if you bought it here and you sold it here, it makes it kind of more difficult. And I was like, I don't really know. I've never done enough transactions with my debit card to have to worry about doing the taxes. I recommend everybody do their taxes, but I don't know how well that they keep track of everything for you to be able to, I bought it here and I bought my groceries here and it sold this much CRO token. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, does that, just from your experience, do you think that would make it difficult?
There is a tax tool available, but I recommend to live to a country like me where there's no capital gains tax.
Yeah,
it's the easiest way.
Yeah. That's right, man. There you go. Okay, Mr. Baron. Well, we got a final question for you, unless you have anything for us, is that tell us about the Loaded Lion collection. Like, give us like a good alpha on it. What do you think about it? How long have they been around? Are they prepared? Can they survive another bear market? Is the token doing good? And I know they have a land drop. Like, give us some information to be able to release to everybody, because this could be a really hidden gem.
Yeah, this is definitely the hot thing now in the crypto.com community. So the Loaded Lions are the staple NFT of crypto.com. And if you go, for example, to the crypto.com arena, when they have basketball games, sometimes you can see the Loaded Lion as well. So it's becoming a bit of their mascot. And what they recently done is they released a token related to the Loaded Lion. It's called Lion, and it went to a 3 billion fully diluted market cap. So 3 billion is a big achievement, specifically because it went there in, I think, a few weeks, or I don't know, even days. That's a big thing, but it doesn't stop there, because also they're now trying to do a land sale. They have done a land sale of NFT lands, and soon there will be a new airdrop as well to people holding on to those lands. So that's actually pretty cool. And next to that, they're also working on a game. It's called Main City. And with that game, I don't know if you guys have heard about the term play to earn, but you play with those lands. And the more you play, the more lands you have, the more you can also earn the CRO token. And I think in the future, also the Lion token. So I think they're working on some cool things. I think there might also be a lot of opportunity there. It's already quite an expensive token. It's still a bit of a niche token as well. So make sure you check the risk cap before you buy into it and you really ape into it. But I think it's definitely a hidden gem within the crypto.com community. Yeah.
So if I had a couple $100, would it be better to buy the bottom of the Loaded Lions, or would it be better, are you thinking, to buy the token? Or buy
the token. I would buy the token always.
Buy the tokens always. There you go. There you go, guys. So I just want, you have anything for us, Mr. Baron?
Yeah, I'm just curious. What's your guys' next plan? Are you looking for certain like tokens, or are you guys trying to do trading live in the stream? What's your guys' plan?
Well, go ahead, Trent.
Yeah, well, that leads into the last surprise question I was going to ask you, but I'll preface it by saying, yeah, we're going live pretty much every evening. On the weekends we might do some earlier streams. So we do some live trading. I show my if I'm not trading live, I show my trades live. So I whether I'm whether it's unrealized profit or whether I've closed the trade, I regularly show those live. So we're doing that. We're doing some pre-recorded videos, and one of our friends is going to start, we're going to get her on camera too. So we're mainly live stream. We're supplementing with some banger pre-recorded videos, like
Banger. I don't even know her.
Yeah, banger. I don't even know her. Yeah, as best we can do anyways, and Yeah, but that leads in. Oh, also, I mean, appealing to the Cardano community, I think, is a big part of our strategy too. We have over 70 videos up on the stream and in our Cardano or on our channel, and we have a Cardano spotlight playlist with close to 15 videos in it. So percentage wise, that's we want to carve out a stake there as a voice in that community. But I was going to ask what advice you might have for us here at the Blockchain Brew. We're a little over 8 weeks in, and a little over 12,000 views, and we have like 70 videos up. A lot of those are live streams, but yeah.
Yeah. What worked for me was doing the live streams combined with the videos. So I try to do more pre-recorded videos, and then people that see the recorded videos, because people, if you watch YouTube, for example, on TV, on the home screen you see the videos, you don't see the live streams that much. But once people see the live streams, the videos, they will also get if they subscribe, they can also see the live streams pop up in their subscribe page, or also I think on the home screen. So do mix them in a lot more. And yeah, the XRP army, like Mr. T here mentions, it's huge. So if you support them, they might also support you back. So who knows? Right. And what always helps is if you guys are big on Cardano, so get Charles Hopkins in here, just have a bit of an interview, and maybe that helps.
Yeah, man.
That would be huge.
Well, thank you again for your time, and also, where can people go to find your channel, your socials? We'll have links in the description as well.
Leave a link, but I'm findable if you find CoinBaron. Just strap in for CoinBaron. That's all I have to say there.
That's all you gotta say. Well, thank you, Mr. Baron. We appreciate your time. Thank you for taking an hour of your day, plus all the help that you probably have to do, just like we do, before we get situated to get somebody special on our stream. And you have a great weekend, man. Enjoy your Mother's Day. It's tomorrow. I don't know if you got any plans. Do they celebrate Mother's Day in the UK?
Yeah, certainly. Tomorrow. So I bought some flowers. But I don't know if you guys are gonna release it today, but yeah. But guys, give those people here a follow, because if you are coming from my channel, these guys are grinding here, and it's good to also get some different perspective on different tokens, because it's good to learn, from a broad perspective.
Nice.
Hey, man, thank you. Nice shout out.
You want to sign us off?
Yes, sir. I was sliding my mouse over where I needed to go. Guys, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you, Brew Crew. Guys, check out CoinBaron. He does some solid A-game work. Strap in. Go to his channel. If you love that crow, you want the alpha, this man, he puts in the work. He puts in the hours. He's doing this full time, guys. So get down in there, smash that like button on every single one of his videos. Just scroll through and give him a big high five, because he went out of his way to come on here for us. So we'll go out of the way to go on there for him. Hit that subscribe button. Let's grow together. Let's go, Brew Crew. T-Square, Mr. Trent, Mr. Baron. We are out of here. Thank you for showing up.